Hi guys, welcome back to my channel once again. It's time for another update on the Skaven army. So, day one, I logged onto Facebook and submitted my pledge for the month, which was 6 Giselle teams, and 10 gutter runners, and Deathmaster Snitch. Days 2 and 3 were spent preparing for the month of painting ahead, so I was picking colour schemes, scouring the bits box for a Giselle crew that I still needed, making a green stuff Giselle shield that I was missing, and also trying to source a couple of extra gutter runners so that I'd have the full 12, which I needed for Warhammer Quest, because these guys were going to be used in games of Warhammer Quest, which is why they got the dungeon bases. But yeah, they were going to double up in this and as a fantasy army as well. Play the old world, 5th edition, whatever comes my way. I'm happy to play anything if there's someone to play it with. Day 4, I completed my first model of the month, which was a single gutter runner, and this served as like a test piece. I was happy with the blue colour scheme, so yeah, successful day painting, and I was happy to go ahead and paint the rest of them in the same scheme. Day 5 was my first eBay score of the month, so a mixed lot containing some assassins, warlocks, a grey seer, a bell ringer from the Screaming Bell, Storm Vermin Champion from about 6th edition, I think, and some odd infantry bits and pieces, which was £47.50 delivered. Day 6, completed 2 more gutter runners, and the running total of those is now 3. Day 7, I found a second copy of Snitch on eBay for £6.75 delivered, so I snapped him up because my games of Warhammer Quest were going to require 2 Deathmasters anyway. It's always good to have a second in case I messed the first one up. And although I was missing his sword, I reckon I can easily green stuff one from the first copy of Snitch that I've got, make a blue stuff mould and then copy it in green stuff. So my loose plan was to paint one Snitch to lead the gutter runners this month, and then I'll save another one to paint with the assassins to lead them. So I've got a nice matching colour scheme for each setup should I choose to run him with the gutter runners or with the assassins. Day 8, there was 4 more gutter runners completed, so I was up to 7 altogether now, so that was a good day's painting. I'm pleased with that, and decent progress made. Day 9, I was still working through the gutter runners, so yeah, cracked on with them, but in between that, I had a little scour on eBay and picked up a champion for about £7 delivered. Day 10, 3 more gutter runners done, so that's 10 completed. And I needed 12, like I said before, but the other 2 hadn't arrived in the post yet, or I'd perhaps not found them even yet by that point. So leave that to one side for now, carry on with the rest of the pledge that I put forward for this month. Day 11 was a big day on eBay. After missing a few good examples, I eventually won a Doom Wheel, which I was ecstatic about. Brilliant models, classic, absolutely had to have it. It was poorly painted, the pictures didn't look good, which is why no one else bid on it, I presume. There was just paint on the bare metal, there's a lot of glue all over it, but I was confident I could sort that out, remove it, give it a rescue job, and it would probably tidy up quite well. So I won that for £28 delivered, not too bad. At the time, I was really pleased. Days 12 and 13 were spent working on the first Giselle team, as usual, just like a test piece, just to confirm the colour scheme that I was going to use for the rest of the Giselles. And for that particular one, I went for an army type green because I wanted them to be like camouflaged. In my head, I was thinking Giselles, they're like snipers and they'll be hiding in the jungle somewhere or out the back on a grassy knoll ready to pick someone off. As I was painting it though, I wasn't too convinced about the colour scheme or the skulks. I think it might have been the skulks that was putting me off more rather than the colour scheme. They just didn't feel like they fitted in with the rest of the Skaven that I'd got. They seemed like they were quite skinny, quite small. I think they probably were from a slightly later edition, so it does make sense that the chunkiness wasn't quite there that I wanted. So they just didn't feel like the classic skulks. Decided to push through, continue on with the rest of the unit, and maybe I'll reconsider them, later on in the year, maybe. Yeah, see how it goes. But it was too late to do anything about it now. I just wanted to get them finished, by the end of the month, and then we can sort out what we're going to do with them later. Day 14 was a day off from painting. Day 15, I found some replacement Jezzails on eBay for a half decent price, so I went with those. Didn't take much convincing. I was already pretty much decided I was going to get some others by that point. So yeah, snapped those up, and I was a lot more impressed with the sculpts on these when they arrived. So they weren't cheap at £35 delivered, and that was only for 5 teams as well. So I still need to find a 6 team really to complete the set, but hopefully one will crop up on the Facebook groups cheap or something like that. Day 16, another Jezzail completed. Day 17 and day 18, we now had 3 Jezzail teams completed in total. Day 19 and 20, we're up to 4 Jezzail teams now. Day 21 and 22, 5 Jezzail teams, but I still wasn't really enjoying painting them. Just had to plough on, get the last one done. Days 23 and 24, it felt like a long week, but all 6 Jezzail teams were done. So thank goodness for that. Day 25 came around and I needed a bit of a pick-me-up after all those Jezzail teams and negativity. So I did some comfort buying on eBay, made me feel a lot better. And it was a mixed lot, including some rat ogres and giant rats of the plastic variety. And that was £22 for the lot. And yeah, that made me feel better. So good stuff. Day 26, and I was still comfort buying, this time on Facebook, where a lovely chap sold me his Vermin Lord, which, fair price, £20. He came without a tail, but it did get, it didn't show the tail in the picture. I just completely missed that it not got it with it. It got sent out to me a week later because he found the tail in his bits box, so very nice of him to send that back out as well. So what an amazing model when it arrived. Really impressed with him as well, and I can't wait to paint him up. Day 27, whilst comfort buying over the last few days, I was also working on Snitch, who by the end of the day was complete to a standard I was happy with, and at this point made a decision that in order to give some unification to the army scheme, I was going to paint any trousers in Space Wolves Grey, and any skirts or sort of lower robes I was going to do in white, just to give a bit of variation but consistency at the same time. Days 28 and 29, with everything I pledged for the month completed, I decided to spend the last couple of days in the month painting some like clam rats to top up the unit from last month. So 10 of them, to be precise, which I got done quite quickly by my standards. I'd already painted 20 of them, so I knew what I was doing by this point. So yeah, that bolstered the ranks of the Skaven clam rats and gave me a usable unit now. Day 30, and we're already on the final day of the challenge. So, yeah, I was back on eBay again. It didn't take long. This time I went for a Warpfire thrower, a team of 2. So that gave me 3 of the metal versions altogether. I'd got a plastic one, but I decided I'd probably want a 3rd metal one so they all matched nicely rather than mixing it up. So I got a Bone Ripper, the Rat Ogre as well on day 30, which to go with Thanquol that I'd already got. And some more giant rats and Packmasters. So it was £15 for the weapons team, £25 for Bone Ripper, and £25 for the giant rats and the Packmasters. So it was an expensive day and an expensive month overall, but some great buys, great classic models, all stuff I couldn't really do without. That's what I told the missus anyway. So yeah, and that was about it for June. So I was enjoying myself so much at this point. It was really an amazing feeling to be finally getting some paint on these old models after so many years collecting dust under the bed, and at quite a decent rate as well, certainly by my standards of painting. So yeah, if you have been enjoying these videos, please do give it a like. Tune in next time, next week for another catch-up video. My loose plan is to release one of these videos, about 1 a week if I can. The retrospective ones anyway, so that we can catch up to date to where we are now. If you can't wait to see where I am and what I've been up to more recently, then you can check out my Instagram, which I'll leave a link to down below, or maybe I'll leave one up here if I can work out how to do that. Probably no chance of me working out how to do that, so yeah, check the link down below.
Thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.